I swear I was working on this video before all the controversy. I swear. So yeah, a couple of months back I ranked all the South Park season 1 episodes, but now we'll do it for season 2. The season 2 opening is, well, hated. The first season ended with a cliffhanger about who Cartman his father is. Everyone expected them to answer the question in this episode. Instead of that, we get a full-length Terrence and Phillip episode that has nothing to do with South Park. So you can imagine that people were pissed. What do I think about it? I like the idea of trolling the viewers, but I hate Terrence and Phillips. They are like the minions, fun for a scene, but more gets annoying. All they have is fart jokes. The writers know this, cause part of the story is that someone hates their fart jokes and wants to kill them for it. At least they are self-aware. Oh, and also Saddam Hussein is there. So yeah, that episode does not work for me. This is just lazy. The school bus gets stranded and the kids tell each other stories to pass the time. Only it's just events from earlier episodes slightly changed to make the kid telling the story look better. And there's a monster eating kids if they leave the bus. At the same time the driver is getting help, but people find her screaming funny, turning her into a stand-up comedian. It's painfully unfunny. The final twist is that it was all a dream of Stan. That does not make any sense. Why would he dream about the bus driver? This one is just awful despite a fun setting. Cow Days is rough. There's a carnival in town and the boys want to win Terrence and Phillips dolls. So they sign Cartman up for a rodeo to win money. Only Cartman gets a concussion and thinks he's a Vietnamese prostitute? Huh. He does win and the boys get their dolls, only for them to be cheap fakes. The whole town then turns against the carnival people, chasing them with brooms and arresting them. Sure. At the same time, some cows steal a cow statue and start worshipping it like a cow cult. Some tourists get blamed for it and starve to death in a prison. Okay. When the FBI finds the cows, they do a mass self-unaliving. Massive off day from the writers. Chef's Salty Chocolate Balls is another one I do not really care about. A film festival comes to South Park and with it all the pretentious film nerds. And that's the only joke, film nerds being pretentious. It gets really old really quick. All these new people in South Park causes problems for Mr. Hanky. As revenge, he drowns all the film people in shit, and it's a Sorcerer's Apprentice parody from Fantasia. The big follow-up to the season 1 cliffhanger is really underwhelming. The second Mephisto is going to reveal who Cartman his dad is, he gets shot. This leads to a couple side stories. We have a television crew who wants to make a true crime episode about the attempted murder, but when they get snowed in, they turn to cannibalism real quick. Yeah, it's not that funny. Also, Cartman, his mother, is trying to abort Cartman even though he's already born, so she sleeps with a lot of people to get the law changed, only to reveal she actually meant adoption instead of abortion. Hilarious. The best one is the boys and Chef taking Mephisto to the hospital. After a power outage, Kenny has to do a lot of dangerous stuff to fix the backup generator while the others just watch TV and drink hot chocolate. That's really funny. After that, everyone gets together and Mephisto reveals that Mrs. Cartman has male and female genitals and she's actually Cartman, his dad. Okay, that's an answer I expected from South Park. I think the whole episode is really unfocused and it tries to do way too much. Also, the voiceover keeps raking in every time someone asks a question. It's fun at the start, but gets really old. Overall, this episode is a big disappointment for me. Gnomes is like, what the fuck? They had like 10 episodes and combined them into one. You have the reason why Tweak is a weird kid, Mr. Garrison almost losing his job, Mr. Tweak his coffee shop getting competition, and him using the boys as a political tool to go against the competition. Oh, and also gnomes have a company about stealing underwear. All in one fucking episode. I have a headache from just thinking about it. Clubhouses should have been a slam dunk. Cal and Stan compete against Cartman and Kenny to see who can build the better clubhouse and play truth or dare in it with girls. Great setup, only it gets ruined by a side story about Stan and his parents divorcing and moving on way too fast. When it's about the clubhouses, it's fun, but every time the parents show up, I'm searching for the remote to skip ahead. Honestly, a lot of wasted potential here. The season 2 finale is really mid. Stan and Kyle find a frozen caveman, and the entire episode fight about who found him first. The catch is that the Iceman has only been frozen for 32 months, so he can understand everyone, but the grown-ups act like he can't. That's kinda the only joke this episode has. We also have this Australian hunter hunting him down when the caveman escapes, and he thinks you show dominance by putting a finger in their bum. Was that meant as a joke? Cause it sure as hell isn't funny. Oh, I want to put this one higher, because there's a lot of great stuff in here. It is time for Ike's circumcision, and the boys think it means chopping it all off, so Kyle sends Ike to Nebraska, and the boys make an Ike doll to fake the parents, only the doll gets grabbed by a dog and run over. We even have a funeral, where Kyle learns that Ike is adopted, and suddenly he does not care about anything anymore. It's so dark, but in a fun way. So they get Ike from Nebraska, and Kyle is still upset about the adoption, but then the boys actually learn what being circumcised means, and they are okay with it. And suddenly everyone wants it. All of this is great and fun, only the whole McKay plotline sucks. So he has a talk at school about drugs being bad, and he shows some drugs that get stolen, so he gets fired, making him turn to drugs and alcohol, and in the end he goes to rehab. It's fun at the start, but it really drags on. Summer Sucks is a bit of a messy episode, but all the elements work. So heavy fireworks are banned for the 4th of July. So the mayor organizes the biggest snake fireworks, and of course it goes wrong. I love when it all goes wrong and they make a violin Titanic reference. Jimbo and Ned go for another approach and try to illegally import fireworks from Mexico, but of course they get caught. At the same time, Mr. Head is missing, making Mr. Garrison go fucking nuts. He's even imagining killing other hand puppets. It's the worst and least developed part of this episode, but it's funny enough. But my favorite part is Cartman taking swimming lessons. It is as funny as you can imagine. So it has maybe a bit too many storylines, but it's really funny. Yep, you read that title right. The boys all go to Cartman and his family for Christmas. There they run into an escaped from prison Charles Manson. This leads to a chase and a hostage situation, but the boys learn Manson to be a good person, and he sings a song about having remorse for his crime. I do not know if this is offensive or brilliant. Knowing South Park, probably both. Listen, planetariums suck. Do not lie. So an episode where the people of the planetarium hypnotize people into loving it, it's kinda exactly what I expect from the writers of South Park. It's also great that in the end Cartman turns out to be the hero because he was auditioning for a TV commercial. I love how he basically eliminates his competitors by being a dick. It might not be the most memorable episode, but it has enough laughs. Wait, that's a lie. Cartman, his singing and dancing audition is graved into my brain. It's fucking amazing. Spooky Fish is the South Park take on Poltergeist with some evil alter egos added, and it really works. We have a nice Cartman for once, and Stan gets an evil murder fish. All these things work, especially Stan's mother doing everything to hide the body, thinking Stan did the killing. Yeah, the constant faces in the corner is a choice, but they do not annoy me enough to place this one lower. This feels like a classic South Park episode. The boys hate dodgeball but keep winning because when one of them gets mad he turns into a fucking god. And the final in China, the commentators making dumb not working jokes about Americans is so good. Back in South Park, Kyle's mother learns that the school nurse has a disease causing a dead fetus on her face, so the town creates a whole awareness week only for the nurse to snap because she just wants a normal life. I love that after the nurse, her breakdown, Kyle's mother and Mayor call the nurse an ungrateful bitch. It's so dry. They completely miss the point of her breakdown, making it that much funnier. Chef 8 is really wholesome. Chef goes to court over his song being stolen, but the defense uses the Chewbacca defense like, oh my god, it is that famous thing where lawyers just confuse the jury. Chef has to go to jail, but the kids try to raise $2 million to free him. They hold a music festival where famous artists like Elton John and Ozzy Osbourne perform. I love that Kenny dies in this episode because Ozzy bites his head off, referencing the whole bad thing he did. In the end, Chef gets released and we have a happy ending. It's a great episode that would be on the top, but the whole love triangle thing between Mr. Garrison, Mr. Head and Mr. Twig pull it down a little for me. It's still amazing though. The Mexican Staring Frog of Southern Sri Lanka is an insane title, but an even more insane episode. The boys need to do a report about Vietnam and turn to Jimbo and Ned, only to make up a fantastical story, making that the guys get an F. Ned and Jimbo also have a hunting television show, so as revenge the boys make up a story about a killer frog and send in fake tapes. This causes the show to gain traction, creating an all-out rating war with the talk show of Jesus, where in the end they all go on the talk show and the producer pushes for drama, creating a complete shit show. This is the type of ridiculousness that makes South Park great. Reading is important, kids. When someone is abusing chickens and leaving clues, it's revealed that the officer can't solve the case because he cannot read. So he goes to school with the boys. Just this is enough to make the episode great, but when the officer can read, it's revealed that the suspect only did it to make the officer learn reading. I love how everyone points out that he could have done it without hurting the chickens, and it's so fucking funny. While the officer is in school, Cartman on his little bike takes over police duties while being filmed for a reality show. He goes undercover as a prostitute, solves fights, and fights speeding people. His solution to everything is just beating a suspect up. So we have him saying against the camera that the most important thing is to stay calm, and follow that up by beating people up and saying that they have to respect his authority. Almost everything about this episode is fucking hilarious. Now, this is a classic. We all had a time where our parents sent us to a sleepover with a kid with chickenpox in hope that you would catch it, cause getting it sooner than later is better. Only the boys in this episode do not know that, so they are all scared thinking that their parents are trying to kill them. This by itself is a funny premise, but then the writers escalate it by letting the boys find a hooker to give their parents herpes as revenge. That's so dark but fits this show so well. I also love that Cartman keeps making fun of Kenny being poor. We have in the ghetto song and him bitching about not having side dishes at dinner. It's so mean of him and so funny because of that. Overall, this is one of the best episodes of the show. This video took a really long time to make, so please consider liking and subscribing and come back next Wednesday for another video.